Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination intact. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820, or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamb Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Prampram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Prampram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Check me out.
He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of digging the hole of darkness.
So what did that?
Myself and the world will adjust. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on The CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
The best radio show. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world. In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Hi there, this is CJ Buckman, your life coach. And whenever I'm in London, I listen to Starr Radio UK right here. But guess what? You can listen to wherever you are.
Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Smile, though your heart is aching. Smile, even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Hey, this is Archie and you are listening to Starr Radio UK and The Morning Show.
This is Starr Radio.
This is
UK.
Starr Radio UK.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Welcome.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Enlighten your day with Starr Radio. Starr Radio. Radio for the people, by the people.
Love for you runs deep. All of you makes my heart beat. You make a doubt they fade, Jesus, and that's what makes you great. You hold the world in your hands, the hand that made me who I am. Same forevermore, and that's what makes you great. You are God. You will never change. You remain the same till the end. Till the end. You are God. One who took my pain, took away my shame. Lord, you reign. That's why forever call you great. Great are you.
Okay, let me say massive good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth. Those of you on other planets as well, we want to salute each and every one of you and welcome you to the 27th day of January, the year 2023. 10:44 the time, Friday morning show. I remain yours sincerely.
This is the morning show with Archie.
From now till 12 o'clock, I'm going to be bringing you everything that you need to know that is making the rounds across the globe. It's going to be a very compressed program, but I hope that you're going to be hopping on and enjoying the show as well.
What makes you great?
So stay tuned and don't tag the dial. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Till the end. You are God. One who took.
And I'm saying good morning to my team this morning, Mr. Olayomi Koiki and Mr. Francis Guy. Massive good morning to you. I hope you are doing very, very well. And then to the one and only Mr. Dan Chabiri, CEO of GIL Accountancy Services, our money man. Well, due to the shortness of the program today, he's not going to be joining us. I send his regards. If those of you who are in the UK who want to, benefit from the discussions that we've had in the past or even last week's, just go to our YouTube or Facebook or any of the social media platforms or our podcast session and just go there and just re-listen to the discussions, but it's all pertaining to filing of your taxes. All right then. But let me say good morning to Shamsuddin Oladipopo. I hope you are doing very, very well. Say good morning. God bless you, Yoruba Nation. Yoruba Nation now. Yoruba Nation we want, and God bless you all. God bless you too, Shamsuddin. And let me apologize sincerely for not being on air yesterday. It was due to some technical errors, and again, your man was under the weather. But we're trying to get a sit-in person, but
Yesterday and forevermore.
I think everybody thought, okay, you know what? Let's take a break. Let the technical team do what they have to do. But once again, I'm grateful to God for each and every one of you that we are still alive, well, and kicking. And let me say good morning also to My Bishop Adeshina, good morning to you. Good morning to Pastor Momo, Anthony Adideji, Aziz, Maxwell. So Maxwell, hey, long time no here. Moyiwa, good morning to you as well. And all you wonderful people who join us each day. Good morning to you. Play in the background something from Edith Morrison. Great are you, Lord. Share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages as well. Okay, so if it's the first time of tuning in to listen to us or watch us, this is how the program goes. I'm going to bring you the quote for the day, the weather forecast to follow suit, then the travel update as well. Move on from there to have a look at some of the stories making the rounds across the globe, known as Global Trotting. Then after that, at 11 o'clock, we have Olayomi Koiki joining in to bring you updates from Nigeria. The program continues from this. Where we'll be looking at some of the other stories. At 11:30, the lines are open for you to add your voice to the discussion. Then at 12 o'clock, we bring the program to a close. Give you some technical work that is going to be taking place, giving access to everyone who have to come into the building and stuff. But let me say good morning to Inspire Day Nursery. Downstairs to the one and only Shireen. Yes, the boss lady herself. Massive good morning to you. And I'm saying good morning also to the team down in the GHS Housing Estates in Ghana. Jeanette. Okay. I hope you are all doing very, very well. All right, then let's crack on. Let's crack on. Great are you, Lord. Just bear with me with my crockish voice this morning. Yes, I've been under the weather, but now I'm on top of the weather, you know. God Almighty. Okay, so when it comes to the quote for the day, it says, be open-minded, and when things change, see them. Okay, my apologies. My producer said I was reading the one before. He said, become really good at one thing. Do not try to focus on too many things until you have become fabulously successful at one undertaking. You know, there's something that we say. I remember, we say, jack of all trade, master of none. So, specialize in something, okay? Be very good at that. You know, interestingly, this morning I was pondering over something of that sort, you know, which is very, very good. Was it this morning or last night? I think it's early this morning. Good morning to Reverend Michael Esiama and the family and the Power Word International Church. Okay, let's now move on to the weather front. Let me tell you what happened today on the weather front. So when it comes to the weather front, today, this afternoon will be dry and settled, but rather cloudy, with large areas of cloud and just a few bright spells developing at times. A gentle to moderate northerly winds is expected. Tonight will remain largely dry throughout. Variable amounts of cloud will persist, but it will turn clearer through the early hours, allowing for some patchy mist and fog to develop. A chilly night expected as well. When it comes to the temperature is going to be 8 degrees, otherwise it's going to be 0. UV level low, pollution low, sunset 16:41, and sunrise for tomorrow morning 07 for the 7 hours. And when it comes to the weekend weather, tomorrow we're going to be seeing once any mist and fog lifts. Tomorrow looks to be a dry and settled day with large amounts of sunshine and just some patches of cloud lingering around during the afternoon. Then comes Sunday as well. For Sunday, we're going to be seeing variable cloud and bright spells on Sunday morning and turning cloudier and breezier in the evening with an odd spot of rain by the end of the day. So that brings us to the end of the weather for you today and over the weekend. If you have any plans, those of you in London and the southeast of England, that's what you're going to be seeing. But let's take a quick commercial break, and once we come back, I'll bring you the travel update. It's now 10:51. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Just bear with me with that tone of voice that I'm using and blocked nose and all that stuff. Hey, is the weather, isn't it? Yeah, but we know that we can do it, can't we? We can. Surely we can. All right then. So I'll see you in a bit.
Make that move now, this festive season, to your new home address at GHS Housing Estates. From now to 31st January 2023, we are offering you an amazing 5% buyer's discount on all purchases on our expandable 1, 2, 3 and 4 bedroom detached homes at Cochrane Villa, Pokwase, just 5 minutes drive from the interchange. The Mayflower and the new Hazel Courts at Kuntusi, 20 minutes drive from Achimotamo. Beautiful homes in a serene and gated community with flexible payment plans available. Call us now on 0544 347 980 or 0544 347 981. GHS Housing Estates. View it, love it, own it.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Okay, so keep your eyes on the roads, and we keep navigated. I promise I'll on the Starr Radio travel update comes your way every weekday from 10:40. It's now 10:53. Running behind schedule, but hey, let's do it. Okay, so when it comes to your travels this morning on the underground this morning, apart from the Elizabeth line that's got minor delays between Stratford and Shenfield due to a track fault at Gideon Park, London Underground and TfL buses service are accepting tickets and there's good service on the rest of the line. All the others have got good service. Now London Overground, DLR and London Tramlink, good service there as well. Now moving on straight to the major roads in London. What's happening there? The A10, A12, A3, A4, A41, Blackwall Tunnel, and Central London Red routes have all got closures. So please check before you leave. That aside, all the others, no exceptional delays. Now keep your eyes on the roads. As to keep you navigated, I promise our boy. Now straight on to the River Bar, the River Bars, good service throughout. The London Cable Car, good service there as well. And to the final segment of the travel update, continue to keep your eyes on the roads. Now, Avanti West Coast cross country, East Midlands Railways, Great Western Railway, South Western Railway, Thameslink, and Transport for Wales have all got minor delays. That is how Chiltern Railways have got special service. All the others, good service there. And as I will say once again, well. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth. Enjoy your commute for today, but you know what? Continue to keep those eyes on the road.
Welcome to Gabby Dave Global. We are a UK-based online e-commerce store, the first of its kind with license to trade in African products. Some of the products are clothing brands and all beauty accessories, hair and beauty brands, natural aphrodisiacs, processed and dried unprocessed food. Our mission at Gabby Dave is to connect African and Caribbean businesses to customers globally. At Gabby Dave, we ensure our sellers get the best deal for their products. We are not just here to help you reach a wider audience. We are also a distribution center to support business growth by fulfilling orders to your customers from our warehouse, making sure customers receive their products on time. We are inviting all Black-owned businesses to trade on our platform because we strongly believe Africans have a unique brand the customer would appreciate globally. So get in touch today and let us make your product and business go far. Here are some of the benefits of using Gabby Dave Global. User-friendly platform, track your shipment, online support, transparent process, multiple SKUs, multiple products, a platform that encourages manufacturers as well as traders. Our marketing and PR interventions amplifies yours. Organized products and categories for easy access and navigation. Access to global community, especially within UK and Europe.
Welcome back to the program Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let me say good morning to Olakunle. I hope you are doing very, very well. And thank God Nigeria is not happening to any one of us. We are doing our best here. So share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages as well. But now, let's move on to some of the stories making the rounds. Mr. Olayomi Koiki will be joining us the next few minutes. But now, let's quickly have a look at what is happening on the world front. Okay? Well. Now, when it comes to some of the stories making the round, NHS Trust fined 800,000 over baby neglect death. The prosecution over Winter Andrews' death is one of only 2 brought against an NHS maternity unit, and that is quite a breaking story coming through. Now tax cuts will wait until inflation under control, says Hunt, that is the Chancellor of the Exchequer. The Tories have no plan, says Labour. Now, more than self-belief needed to grow economy. All right then. And Hunt sets out his vision, but is there a blueprint? Well, that is a question everybody seems to be asking, and we'll be telling you more about that during the course of the program. But when it comes to some other stories making the rounds, Biden urges calm ahead of police beating video release. Now, video of a traffic stop arrest in Memphis that led to Tyre Nichols' death is due to be released on Friday. Now, interestingly, this one, I call it black on black crime. All the police officers who were involved are blacks, and they beat this black guy. Well, so let's see what is happening there. Ukraine declares war on its other enemy, that is corruption. The government in Kyiv is trying to tackle corruption head on, but it's a risky strategy. It's a risky strategy, of course. Now, if you fall out with people, they become your enemy, won't they? And the U.S. forces kill IS Somalia leader in cave complex. Now, Bilal al-Sudani was a key figure in growing the Islamic State's presence in Africa, the U.S. has said. And Interpol 6 Singaporean over exam cheating scam. Now, Pu Yong Ne elaborates scam involved tapping phones and Bluetooth devices to students. Interesting. And U.S. sanctions Chinese firms helping Russia's Wagner. Now, Spacity, China allegedly supplied satellite imagery of Ukraine to support Wagner combat operation, and they are against them now. Well, we'll see more about that in a moment. But when it comes to some of the stories making the rounds in Nigeria, tight security as Osun Tribunal delivers judgment. Judgment on what? We'll be telling you more about that as well. And then Nasarawa Governor Abdullahi Sule loses his first son, and then federal government for new jailbreaks after Kuje prison attack. Aregbe Sola says, and then 2023 election must hold. INEC and other stakeholders insist. But when we talk about the insecurity that's going on in the country at the moment, do you think that the election is going to hold at all? Now, election will hold in Southeast as scheduled. That's what the military is saying. Now, what are they going to do? Are they going to go boot for boot against the groups there? Well, we'll tell you more about that. Count us out of your problem with Buhari, PDP tells Tinubu, and the PDP lacks structure to win elections in Southwest. That's what the APC seem to be saying. Now, still in Nigeria, now Chris Ohizu says IPOB laments murder of Imo LG boss, and then okay, release Nnamdi Kanu unconditionally if elected president. Now, IPOB's U.S. lawyer to Tinubu and Atiku. Would that happen? Do you think that is going to happen at all? Now, more going to be coming your way from there. Mr. Olayomi Koiki will be coming your way, telling you us more about that. Now, South African farmer warns of lots of food shortages amidst ongoing power cuts. Now, we know South Africa is going through some serious power cuts incidents there. This is proper doom. So, and France recalls envoy to Burkina Faso after expulsion of its forces, and bombing injured at least 12 people near a market in northeastern DR Congo. Okay, those are some of the stories making it. New claims of ethnic clashes in central Ethiopia making the rounds. Now, when it comes to Ghana, Togba Fedi the 14th backs individual bondholders, calls for exclusion from domestic debt exchange. Well, what do you think that is going to bring about? Debt exchange program, government reaches agreement with Ghana Insurance Association, and change in minority leadership, rebel minority MPs petition national executive. But we have Dr. Spiel Gabra saying that consultation are not mandatory pertaining to the change in the minority leadership. Those are some of the stories making the rounds. Even Asamoah Gyan was removed That's what Spio Gabra is saying. Slams NDC supporters opposed to Haruna Idris's removal. Do you think that the removal or the changes in the front or the leadership of the NDC presence in parliament is actually going to be a negative rather than being a positive for them? What do you think? I want to have your take on that. Starr Radio UK. Now, finally, here in the UK, as I did say earlier on, well, jailing of trans rapists shambles. A prison chief is saying Isla Bryson should not have been sent to a women's jail, says the ex-governor of Compton Valley. Now, interestingly, yesterday I saw a picture of this woman, let me call it that way. Apart from the hairdo and maybe some of the foam, the cushion foam that is put there to enhance his breast, I could see everything down there that this is a proper man. How can you put somebody of that sort in a woman's prison? How would that work? Okay, so a lot more going to be coming your way from that front. Investigation after volley of shot fired at a car. That is a story making the running story. Church destroyed in large blaze is one of the stories in London as well. More going to be coming your way. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now let's enjoy this song from Sonny Opuso, and then we'll have Mr. Olayomi Koiki joining in. Don't you go away.
Good God. Now look at your neighbor. Say, neighbor, I have some gratitude in my spirit. I have some gratitude.
This is Radio UK.
Ask your neighbor, do you have some of it? Because I'm about to unleash my gratitude. Now, you know what? Once you feel it, don't allow your neighbor to stop you. Once you feel it going, come on. Come on, everybody. Clap your hands like this. Come on. One more.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7. Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
Everybody. Dimension. Are you ready? Come
your smartphone.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you for loving me.
Are you ready to turn it up?
Lord, I thank you. Oh, Lord. Lord, I praise you. Come on. Thank you for loving me. Lord, come on, sing. Lord, I thank you.
Are you ready to turn it up?
Lord, I praise you.
Okay, listeners, Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bringing the time now to exactly 7 minutes past the top of the hour.
Come on.
And it's time for us to bring you updates from Nigeria. But that was gratitude from Samuel, the late Samuel Poso. But I've got with us now the White Lion himself. I think he's somewhere. He's going to be telling you more about where he is at the moment. I can hear the sound, but I don't know where he is. And let us go to him. Yomi, massive good morning to you.
Well, a very good morning to you, and I hope you can hear me very loud and clear back in the studio.
Loud and clear, loud and clear.
Well, we're somewhere in Newham Local Government Council, and I'm sure you should narrow the guest now. We're literally at the Stratford, one of the most important places, for those that know the Westfield, shopping mall. So I'm right here in Westfield Shopping Mall, where we will be doing the live broadcast, back to you in the studio today, the 27th day of January. And like I say, it is a good feeling there, especially when you're outdoor. We look about the economy, the recession going on all over the world. It's still very quiet, as you can tell. It's just coming up to almost 5 minutes past the hour. But I can tell you that this place gets very busy up to the late hours. How do we work all this out in African countries? Security is one of the most important things when investors want to come into Africa. Starr Radio UK, live from Westfield in Stratford. I'll come back again to you now in the studio, Mr. Archie.
Well, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koiki in Westfield, Stratford, one of the biggest malls that you can see in the UK at the moment. But I would like to briefly talk about it so that those of you who have not had the privilege of being in this part of the world will know, comparing it to maybe one of the biggest shopping malls in Nigeria as well. And let's see how the whole thing goes there. Yomi.
Yes, Stratford, is one of the, like we said, one of the most important part of, East Town. And likewise, we know the Westfield Shopping Mall, was actually, let's take you through a bit of the history of the Westfield. It was actually opened, some few years back now. And I mean, when I say few years back, it was actually opened just before the Olympic. Remember that the Olympic was actually in this particular area, and that literally means that this was a very busy ground in preparing the 2012 London Olympic. So Westfield Stratford City was opened on the 13th of September 2011, and literally it got quite a lot of different amenities in here. I'm literally very close to the food mall, which is very busy. We have the stores, we have almost all the stores here as well. But the question then is, what is the life like here? Always remember that, when you come out in this kind of environment, you must also have the money to spend, or you could just be doing the window shopping as well. But one thing we can say when it comes to the Westfield Stratford Shopping Mall is there is about almost 70 different places to eat and drink. I mean, you can imagine the kind of staff that are working there. You can imagine the kind of logistics that goes in on a daily basis from Monday to Sunday. And that literally means that farmers are kept busy, and there will be also a lot of staff. Also, Westfield City is home to over 300 different brands. We talk about the next, the unique River Island is there. On my other side there is Samsung. We have the cinema up there. We also have the casino for those that wants to do a bit of casino as well. Also, it also have 17 screen. If you want to have a nightlife for your family or your friends or loved ones, this is also one place to also look into. We have similar in Nigeria, but not up to the standard of what we have here. But one thing is, why is it that we cannot have 300 brands of different organization companies coming into Africa to invest? That is something that we have to discuss in the course of this program. But for now, I'll come back again to you in the studio. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London, and we are live here in Stratford City, where the program is actually ongoing as I speak to you right now.
Okay, thank you very, very much, and thank you very much to my able producer, Mr. Francis Guy, trying to keep me very, very warm, knowing that I'm under the weather. He's trying to put me on top of the weather, and we'll do so. Well, so if you happen to be in the UK anytime or in London, well, that is one of the places that you have to be, Stratford. Okay, now Yomi, so now let's come to some of the stories making the rounds. Interestingly, people are looking forward to the elections. They are looking forward to the election. However, US, I saw that post, I think earlier on, where a US one of
Secretary
of State, yes, has said that they doubt, and the ring is saying that they doubt that the election is going to hold, that Nigeria has got the capacity to hold that election. However, INEC is also saying that, well, election must hold. So what is it all about?
Well, on the 25th, which is just about 2 days ago, the United States Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, issued a visa restriction. He didn't tell us those that have already been affected, but we do know that he actually mentioned that, those that have been affected and the new ones that will be added should anybody want to disrupt, the upcoming election. And this is exactly what he said at about 16:48 on the 25th of January. To support Nigerians' upcoming election today, I am announcing visa restrictions for those involved in undermining democracy in Nigeria. The United States support Nigeria's aspiration to combat corruption and strengthen democracy and the rule of law. Quite a lot of people have already put comment under that as well. And one of those that put comment is Frank on the Twitter, says, "Let me tell you, Blink, we will chase you out of social media, believe me. Your conspiracy against the indigenous people in Nigeria, just because of your selfish interests and Africa at large, is over. Whatever evil you commit will be on you." Chineke Pogima. Also, Dr. Balawa. Thank you very much, Mr. Blinken. This is a bold step in partnering with Nigeria to strengthen democracy. Please also reconsider revoking the green card and the citizenship of those who fall under the fraud net of undermining democracy in Nigeria. This is Starr Radio UK, and these are part of the engagement. Remember that last week, the European Union, Australia, and United Kingdom are very, very skeptical that the 2023 election might be inconclusive, especially because of the ongoing insurgency, the Fulani terrorism, and all the crises that is already pointing to a country that literally wants to survive or not.
Wow. Now, if we look at what is happening on the ground at the moment, with Blinken's statement that he has made, and with if you look at the comments that people are putting across, that people have gotten to a point where they don't give a damn what is going to happen. They just think that we don't want elections, and some are saying that the military are also saying that, look, there's going to be elections in the southeast because we see the IPOB and the ESN that they've been very strong down there and are able to stop government from doing whatever things that they are doing. So do you think that even if they said, okay, other places is going to hold, what are we going to be seeing in the southeast?
Well, the military disagree with that. The military believes that they can do support to INEC, the Nigerian Air Force, even though mistakenly, according to them, bombed over 100 innocent Nigeria some few days ago. We were not here yesterday, but this happened on Wednesday Thursday, when over 100 innocent people were bombed mistakenly by the Nigerian Air Force. But they are also preparing. The military believes that whatever is going to happen in the southeast, even though there's a lot of messages now, campaigners for the indigenous people, the right of the self-determination, saying that election is not going to hold in the southeast and the southwest. But the military believes that they can do whatever needs to be done to make sure election holds. But the international community are very, very skeptical. Let's take you back to 2019. We traveled down to Nigeria. We were on ground just a few days before the election. And on Saturday that the election was meant to hold, the federal government of Nigeria unplugged that, and that literally put a lot of international community asking the question, the legitimacy of what is going to be the outcome. Eventually, election went ahead, even though we saw, the atrocity in Lagos State, we saw atrocity in most part of the country, but it's not as what is going to happen this time around. President Muhammadu Buhari says that any Nigerians should vote for whoever they want. Tinubu is already crying out that the government that is in is trying to jeopardize his winning because of the petrol scarcity. The naira is coming up to, up to the end of this month before you can exchange the 1,000, the 200, and the 500 naira. But the question then is, what is the preparedness of the international community and the engagement with Nigeria as the election is getting closer? All this is something that will have to be monitored, but definitely they will be inconclusive should the election not hold in some other part of the country. But so many Nigerians are still struggling to get their PVC, especially in Lagos. We are not sure why, Lagos State is having a lot of problem getting PVC. And I believe the reason for that is there's also a kind of manipulation. When during the election time, we see every part of the PDP, the APC, but this time around, they have a third force, and the third force is Peter Obi, the Labour Party, and it's giving the PDP and the APC their money for chase.
Because the youth who are the ones who are supposed to go and pick their PVCs, they are the new ones who have registered. I think they are doing that to actually
There's about almost 24 million Nigerian students currently at school, and they are now saying that they need to let them, go back home. Schools need to close down right now to enable election to happen. But we are not sure whether that is going to happen before the 25th of February. But what we don't know is there's a lot of pressure now that the student must be allowed to vacate so that they can go pick up their PVC for those that have not done so. And for those that want to vote, they can be at their precise location where their local government and their polling unit will be held for the election.
Wow, listeners, updates from Nigeria with Mr. Olayomi Koiki in Stratford. Westfield shopping mall this morning, bringing you updates from Nigeria. But Yomi, there is a banter between Atiku and Tinubu. I mean, where I don't know the problem between Tinubu and Buhari, but it looks like when somebody is having some problem, decide to rope someone else in, and he seems to be doing that. And Atiku has come out with a stern warning against him. So, can you give us some details of that story as well?
We do know that Tinubu is very bitter. He was in Ogun State, the southwest of Nigeria, some few days ago with his campaign, and he actually said a few things that a lot of Nigerians are now asking, and Tinubu was actually saying that it seems that the government is purposely allowing the fuel scarcity to go on, and that is going to cost his election winning. He's also saying that the Naira note that is coming into, these change. Remember that the 1,000 Naira, the 500 Naira, and the 200 Naira note, a lot of Nigerians do not have access to that money. We have some of our team on the ground yesterday, asking questions with the pass-by, and a lot of them do not have access to this current note. But it also seems that, the news coming out is also filtering from one person that the APC believe is a mole. She was part of the, Najatu, she's called, and she's been giving a lot of headache, to the campaign of the Tinubu team, because she actually says that Tinubu is not fit. But not only that, she's also pointing finger that the vice president, the presidential vice president of APC, Shetima, was one time also where one of the terrorists that was being looked for was found in his own particular premises during that period of time. The PDP are taking advantage of that, but also there's also the bullion ban. I remember that in 2019 we saw the bullion ban, going into Tinubu's house, and Tinubu campaign team are saying that the bullion ban actually the misroad, by finding itself at Tinubu's house. There is a lot going on, but let's take a look back at the Shetima sponsor terrorism, according to the ex-Tinubu aides. According to the former director of the Presidential Campaign Council of the ruling Progressive Congress, Ajia Najatu Mohammed, has fired a former party alleging that it is the vice president candidate Kashima Shetima is the sponsor of terrorism in Nigeria. Could that be then that what the late Dr. Malafia was telling us, that there is a governor that sponsored terrorism? Remember that Shetima was one time a governor of Borno State, and under his nose, so many children were kidnapped that led to bring back our girls. Again, Starr Radio UK, I'll come back again to you in the studio for more updates coming from Nigeria. But right now, We're live in Stratford, where it is so very busy. I can see, as usual, security, very, very important. More people getting a bit of meal. It's coming up to lunchtime, so you can expect that people will start having something to eat. The question is, why can't we have 300 brands moving into Nigeria today to explore the market that would have been an opportunity for them? I guess if somebody's sponsoring terrorism, no brands want to put their money into where they cannot recoup the money back.
Of course. Security. Well, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you updates from Nigeria. Now, this lady who is accusing Tinubu and Shatima for all sorts. I mean, how credible is she?
Well, remember that she was one time the campaign director. She's not just accusing Tinubu; she's also accusing the former president Muhammadu Buhari. I mean, well, he's not former; he's almost formal anyway. That Buhari also does not have the capacity, and that means that she would not be supporting somebody like Tinubu, just as they gave support to Buhari in 2015, which eventually led to the failure of President Muhammadu Buhari from performing. She believed that she had engagement with Tinubu, even though Tinubu campaign team have actually come out to say that she's actually bitter and she's not worth listening to. Do we believe that? We will have to wait and see if that is the reality on the ground. But what we can say is, Tinubu believes, the party campaign believes that she's a mole that was sent into the party. But she said that she had conversation with Tinubu, and in that 2 hours, Tinubu could not even respond. And that believes that she's not going to be part of those that wants to bring somebody that is not capable. And in her word, she said that Tinubu is the devil that cannot be allowed to become the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Well, listeners, this is Starr Radio UK 1124. The time, the morning show. We'll allow Yomi to bring us the rest of the stories making the rounds. Over to you, Yomi.
Well, once again, a very good morning to those of you that have joined us. And as we continue with the update, there's quite a lot of discussion going on in Nigeria. And one of those discussions is, as the election is getting closer, are we going to see a conclusive election? Are we going to see a conclusive result? All these are the questions on the table. The most important that is getting a bit of concern to so many Nigerians today is the naira, that in the next few days, today is the 27th, so we're looking at about another 3 days. The CBN has refused to back down, in terms of, whether, they should extend the timing, so that more people can get access to the new Naira note, even though, the Naira itself is not available. Also, churches, are also putting the pressure on the CBN governor, Emefiele, to do the needful as well. Likewise, as, the fuel scarcity is one of the biggest threats, in Nigeria today. The per liter is going to almost 500 Naira in the black market. And if you're lucky, to get one from the petrol station, you would have to queue overnight. All these are bringing a lot of concern, to so many Nigerians. But the problem is election going to take place is the question that also so many people are asking. One thing we can also say is that, more diaspora are also, telling their loved ones as the election is getting closer to avoid that election. And the reason for that is, there's a lot of intelligent report, going around that, there will be so much violence, during the election, and it is not worth being part of that. So all this is what is going on presently in Nigeria. But I'm going to come back again to you in the studio while we get, one of our devices currently down. We're trying to get it connected. But for now, I was listening to you before I came on the air when you were talking about Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer. Yes, I saw that news last week. He's actually saying that none of the three candidates is really talking about Nnamdi Kanu in terms of, Nnamdi Kanu, being either guarantee a kind of a release. We know that, the governor of Anambra State, Soludo, has said that he will stand for Nnamdi Kanu. We are not sure whether that is allowed under the law, but what we can say is, one of the legal team of Nnamdi Kanu is saying that there is not much being said to guarantee that Nnamdi Kanu will get his freedom from any of the three candidates. We do know that Sowore have also said that he will have engagement and dialogue with the Biafra and the Oduduwa, the Yoruba. But Kola Abiola, one of the contestants, says he's going to be dealing with both Biafra and likewise the Yoruba, just as he's going to be dealing with the Boko Haram. Star Radio UK, I'll come back again to you in the studio.
Yeah, I think that a couple of weeks ago, Peter Obi also did make that statement that he is prepared to engage. I mean, he said for people will not just rise up for no reason to say that, look, we want to break away from a country because people want to do so. That means that they are being marginalized or there's something that they are not happy with, and therefore he is ready to dialogue with them. He said he will bring them to the table and have it. So I don't know, he didn't go further to stress the fact that he will release Nnamdi Kanu once he has that position. He didn't go that further. But I think that he's one of the ones that if given the opportunity, he will do so. But my question here now is, now that we are seeing all this insecurity that is going on, and the fact that people are warning their families and loved ones not to get themselves involved in the elections, should a handful of people go for the elections and then they declare somebody a winner, would that be accepted? Or how will it going to impact them?
Well, I mean, this is going to be a very decisive time, especially now that we have three contenders that are very strong. I mean, as much as we might say that the APC has the structure, the PDP has the structure. We're not sure whether Peter Obi has the structure, but he has the crowd behind him. And that is something that is giving a lot of concern, to the rest of the political party. So should we now go into an inconclusive result, then it will now determine by how many votes and then how many, polling units and all sorts. And as we cannot really be sure what will be the outcome, but what I can say is, this is going to be a different, thing entirely from what we have witnessed since 1999, when Nigeria, after all the atrocities that took place just after the 1993 election, that was the freest election, but that was annulled, by the cabal in the Fulani sector. But what we know is in 1998, there was a lot of problems after the late MKO Abiola died. People thought the country was going into the breakuppers at that time, but some cabals were very smart. They brought out Obasanjo from the prison and gave Obasanjo, the opportunity under the PDP to become the president. Obasanjo contested with Olufalaye, the AD, but Obasanjo eventually won. So this time around, we have never seen this kind of, disunity in Nigeria. We have Atiku from the northern part of the country contesting under the PDP. We have Peter Obi contesting as the Labour Party coming from the southeast. We have Bola Tinubu as a Yoruba person coming from the southwest. Even though every single one of them believe that the unity of Nigeria is something that they can rebuild, how they're going to do so is something that we have to continue to look about. Yes, the other device is up and running. And just before we come back, mega churches and school have now barred the old Naira note payment for offering.
So when you are going to church, please don't take the old Naira, or it will not be.
So if you are going to your church from next week, please make sure you're not giving the old 1,000 Naira and the old 500 Naira note and the old 200 Naira note as well. According to according to the information we have, ahead of the January 31st deadline that is coming up anytime soon, churches, according to the deadline set by the Central Bank of Nigeria for phasing out of the 1,000 Naira, the 500 Naira, the 200 Naira note, some of the mega churches, schools, retailers have now set time limit for collection of the old currency. Is this going to work? There is fire on the mountain as there's a lot happening. But Buhari was almost stoned as he was getting to Castina yesterday.
You don't
we
mean
cannot
it.
talk about that. Yes, there's a lot of people that were actually stoned in the presidential vehicle, and this is his hometown. Definitely, there's fire on the mountain.
Wow, listen at Star Radio UK. A president in his own town being stoned. Is it somebody just tried to just pull a fast one, trying to, conspiracy, just get some people, they let them do something and we say that the president is unpopular? What do you think? It's all coming away from Star Radio UK, 11:31 the time. Let's go back to Yomi for the rest of the stories. Over to you, sir.
Wow. Breaking news is coming. Tribunal annuls Adeleke victory has declared Oyetola as the new governor again in Osun State. Quite a lot is going on in Nigeria. Remember that Adeleke is the dancing senator. I'm not sure whether you've come across one of his videos. He loves to dance, each time he's there, he's dancing. But it seems that it's not going as planned, as the breaking news coming on the wire this morning. The election petition tribunal hearing APC and Adegboyega Oyetola's petition against the victory of the PDP Ademola Adeleke on Friday has annulled the result of the July 16 Osun State governorship poll. Justice Tessie Kumin, while delivering a majority decision, declared that INEC did not comply substantially with the Constitution and the provisions of the Electoral Act. He subsequently deducted the overvoting observer from the vote scored by the candidate and has now declared that Oyetola won the election, having polled 314,921, while Adeleke's score came down by 290 to 266. So you can see that there's nothing that cannot happen when it comes to Nigeria. So there's currently tight security as I speak to you right now in Osun State. We don't know what is going to be the response of the governor that has been already parading himself as a governor. We will have no other option than to also appeal it. But that is the current news coming out of Nigeria as I speak to you right now. Also, lawmaker tackles Taraba government over APC members' arrest is coming from one of the headlines as well. Not a very good news as well from the northern part of Nigeria today. Nasarawa State governor lost his son, Hassan, is coming from the headline. According to the governor of Nasarawa State, Abdullahi Sule, has lost his son, Hassan Sule, may so rest in peace. It was gathered that the governor's son died in Lafia in the late hours of Thursday, January 26, yesterday. The deceased, who got married to his first wife, Ajia Sule, in June last year, was the governor's eldest son at the age of 36. This was contained in a statement made available to newsmen in Lafia on Friday by the governor's chief press secretary, Ibrahim Adara. The statement read, and I quote, His Excellency Abdullahi A. Sule, the governor of Nasarawa State, and on behalf of his family, announces the sudden loss of his son, the first son, Hassan Sule, whose sadly event occurred yesterday at the age of 36. May so rest in peace. We're going to take one more because, as we say, like I said, it's still very busy down here. I can see more people going into the theater upstairs. I can see more food being served there. So let me quickly look at something similar to here in Nigeria. We have the ShopRite. The ShopRite is a very, very small shopping mall. It has a cinema. It has a lot of lifestyle. But the question is, do we have a replica of such in all the states across Nigeria? Probably not. I was actually asking, this morning before getting into Stratford, that do we have Airbnb running across Nigeria? And I've been told no. The reason for that is the insecurity in Nigeria would not allow such. The technology is not there yet. And like I say here in the Stratford, if you're, we have about a couple of devices here, and each of these devices has been connected to the free Wi-Fi hotspot here in the Westfield, where we are currently communicating back to the studio. A lot of Nigerians do not have access to the basic things of life. More Nigerians are suffering, for access to data in terms of communication to see what is going on around the world. I am not sure, but I can confirm that in as much as I have been to ShopRite, we could not get free access to the internet for the period of time I was there when I was in Nigeria some few years. The United Nations, the IPG envoys, warns against election rigging and violence in Nigeria. It seems now that United Nations is also now concerned about the upcoming election in Nigeria. We cannot allow the most populous black nation in the world and the largest in Africa slip into electoral crisis or violence. So it seems now that the UN is sure that there will be violence in Nigeria, and they are saying already that they cannot allow that. Chimbo Obieze of the United Nations International Peace and Governance Council has tasked political party candidates to focus on issues-based campaign meant to benefit the electorate and generality of Nigerians. Mr. Obieze, the UNIPGC Special Envoy on sustainable peace and education and the chairman of International Human Rights, which should be talking about the release of Nnamdi Kanu and a lot of the Biafrans that have been held by the custody of the DSS. The UN have talked about it, but the Nigerian government refused to obey the rule of law. On Thursday, in Accra, has asked election stakeholders, especially candidates and political parties, to ensure issue-based campaign rather than campaign of hate. We also can confirm that the PDP governorship candidate also died yesterday. We were not here yesterday, but he also died in Abuja at about almost 4:25 a.m. He was here in UK for medical treatment, and unfortunately, he died of a heart attack, according to the news that we got. All this is still part of what is going on in Nigeria. We're going to take one more headline, come back again straight into the social media. But for now, it seems that missing Kaduna girl who hears voices at night has been found in Maiduguri. APC, a very deceitful, abandoned restructuring. I will restructure Nigeria, Atiku. I'm not sure how Atiku Abubakar of the PDP wants to restructure Nigeria. Starr Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Nigeria's current political process will produce wrong leaders and more corruption. Guess who? The former president of Federal Republic of Nigeria that came through with a fraudulent 1999 constitution. I'm talking about the one and only Obasanjo. It is possible to declare that ways in which we have practiced our democracy have deepened contradictions, negative coalitions, distrust, disloyalty, unpatriotic tendency. All this was said when Obasanjo was attending an event yesterday in Port Harcourt. Once again, as we're going into the weekend, there's still a lot to discuss. I'll come back again to you in the studio, Mr. Archie.
Wow, listeners, we have lots to discuss, but don't you worry, we'll do our best. Now, if you have any comments, you can post it. You want to call in, feel free to do so. It is 0208-133-2257 or 58. I will allow you to do so, even if we are just able to just deal with everything that's going on in Nigeria today, because we said we finish it at 12 o'clock for some technical upgrade to take place. And we have peace for the election that is going to take place, or we have Nigeria at peace and everybody can go about their duties. Fine, that is okay for us, because that is what we intend doing. But Yomi, there was this story because yesterday we were not on air. Now about Simon Ekpa. Now some people put in a bounty of $50,000, and I was asking myself, what exactly is going on with him and with the Biafra or the IPOP agitation? What is going on?
Well, Simon Ekpa, the spokesperson and the spokesman for the Biafra, is always, being targeted either through individuals or groups of people. Yes, you are quite right. If $50,000 was put on him, for anyone, maybe they find him, I don't know. But one thing is, what could be the reason that, Simon Ekpa is a concern to a lot of, Biafra or the government? It's just the same way that, Chief Sunday Igboho is a concern, to the Yoruba people and likewise, the federal government. I was listening to Chief Sunday Igboho, Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho, one of his videos that he produced some few years before even the agitation. And he says that, part of what is happening in the Northeast, where terrorism is flourishing, should such happen in the Southwest, there will be armor tank of Nigerian soldiers coming down. What is Simon Ekpa fighting for? Simon Ekpa is fighting for, the Biafra agitation, and under the United Nations Charter and the African Union Charter, and likewise under the European Union. He's currently not in Nigeria, he's outside Nigeria, but as his message continues to be delivered onto a lot of Nigerians, that is a lot of concern. Last year, we saw the Nigerian Minister for Information, Alhaji Lai Mohammed. Lai Mohammed was actually advising Google to remove all the videos produced by Simon Ekpa on YouTube. Google hasn't done so, but we do know that most of the time Simon Ekpa is being targeted, just as Babaki Toye has been targeted, for a lot of things that is happening in Nigeria. The reason why that is happening also is the federal government believes that some of the carnage and atrocity going on in the Southeast is being sponsored by those outside the country, and they are pointing finger to somebody like Simon Ekpa, even though the governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, has accused the opposition of those creating this carnage of the INEC destruction and the insecurity in the southeast part of Nigeria today.
Now, let's talk about what Shatima, the accusation against Shatima, because I'm trying to link it up with Simon Ekpa's situation. Now, what has the security agencies said about it? Because this is an allegation. Somebody who have been with them saying that, look, this man has been a sponsor of terrorism. Somebody, whatever, was found in his, confines or in his home or in his company. Now, what have they said about what has the security agency said about it? Because if they are saying this about Simon Ekpa, or Chief Sunday Igboho, because they say that, look, I won't stand for people behaving this way, what have the security agencies said about that?
Well, let's be honest. There's one rule for one person and there's another rule for somebody else. I mean, when you talk about somebody like Shatima, it's just one rule that is under the APC, and I don't think any of the security or the DSS will do anything in terms of making any effort to curb this allegation or investigating. Remember that Shatima is part of the ruling party. Shatima is the vice presidential candidate of the APC. He was a one-time governor, and under his nose, children were kidnapped, known as the Bring Back Our Girls. Yeah. Some were rescued, and we still have about a couple of them that are still in the hands of the Boko Haram terrorists. Also, one has given birth to a baby boy, I believe, last year, if not, Lee Shuaibu. The question then is, why is it that, the DSS, has everything, to pinpoint, some of the Biafrans that are agitating either online or offline, but they have not been able to go after what Najatu Mohammed, a former director campaign of the APC, pointing finger that Shatima is one that sponsored terrorism in Nigeria.
The same thing happened to the governor for the Bank of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Emefiele, and we have the DSS going after him, trying to capture him. Now, so I'm baffled. I mean, but you've nailed you hit the nail right on the head, because if the laws were the same, then by this time they should have been going after Shatima to find out exactly what his role has been when it comes to this, rather than just chasing people, Chief Sunday Igboho, and chasing Samuel Ekpa and everybody out who is outside. Now you don't have enough evidence that they have actually caused anything of the sort. Well, let's see, this Starr Radio UK. Mr. Olayomi Koiki in the Westfield shopping mall this morning, Stratford, and I'm Archie here in the South Studios. We're bringing you the morning show updates from Nigeria. I'll go back to Yomi for the rest of the stories, and then what's happening on the social media platform. Over to you, sir.
Well, the social media is the last hope for the average man in Nigeria today, and as we are going away for the weekend, may Nigeria not happen to any one of us. Let us remain very vigilant. There is still a lot of criminality, of terrorism happening across every part of Nigeria. So if you're traveling over this weekend, you move it at the right time, but make sure that you also have enough battery on your phone in case there's an emergency, and you can be able to send a SOS to somebody out there. We will monitor all the situation over the weekend, and by the time we are back on Starr Radio UK on Monday, we'll be giving you everything that you need to know. But for those that are back home, this is part of what we are saying, that is a small world. But one thing is, it is well organized. There's a lot of people that are working in these, complex, and they are also taking on money after the end of the month or weekly. And this is exactly why, if you still believe that Nigeria will work, the question is how? Is it based on the 1999 Constitution, or is it based on bringing the unity, which would definitely work should we have our own separate country? My name is Olayomi Koiki on Starr Radio UK today from Stratford. I will be back again from a different location on Monday. I will hand you over back to you, to Archie, to take you to the rest of the program. But for now, have a great weekend, but make sure that you stay tuned to Starr Radio UK, because over the weekend, we have everything it takes from tonight up to Sunday, where we're going to be having more program on Sunday. I will be back again on Monday morning, God's willing. Bye for now.
Yomi, before you go, now this song from Jeanette Orile Demi, I tell you that I've been singing the song. I don't understand it, but I'll be there now.
Orile Demi means my own nation. So the word Orile De, my nation. Orile Demi, she's actually talking about our nation. And a lot of people have asked the question: is Nigeria a country? we've not been able to find a professor to define what is a country in Nigeria, because what we know is a country is where you speak your own language. But in Nigeria, we have 300 ethnic groups speaking one common language, which was forced on us, which is English. And I was making my way out on the public transport. The two females sitting next to me were speaking language I don't even understand. That means they are from Orile Dekon. Okay. And the other person behind me, I'm sure, was from Ashanti in Ghana, because I could hear the language. But today in Nigeria, Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, speaking the same language? No. So Janet is actually talking about Orile Deme, which is my nation.
Okay, so that is the song that I'm playing for you wherever you are. And let me say thank you very much, Yomi, for that wonderful interpretation of that song. And I think I will enjoy it more this time around. Have a lovely weekend, and we'll see you all.
Bye for now.
Yes.
Bye for now.
Okay, so enjoy this song, and I'll be with you. It is Starr Radio UK, a Friday edition of the morning show.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Okay, my nation, Orela Demi by Jeanette. I hope that this time around you have actually got it. Those of us who don't understand Yoruba, thanks to Mr. Olayomi Koiki, got a translation for that. Okay, but it is Starr Radio. Okay, we've got about 11 minutes to bring the program to a close for today. As I said, the technical update is going to be taking place in the next few 8 minutes. But yeah, I think they will just allow me to finish it exactly at 12 o'clock. Then the technical team headed by Miss Francis Guy will be taking over. So wherever you are, just stay tuned. Don't you go away. Let us go through some of the stories, the headlines of some of the stories making the rounds this morning. Now, when it comes to South Africa, South African farmer is warning of lots of food shortages amidst ongoing power cuts. What is causing that? What will cause that as well? Now, due to load shedding, planned power cuts, an estimated of 40,000 chicken died of suffocation on a farm in the northwest province of South Africa. And that's what they are saying now. You know what? With that happening across board, there's going to be lots of food shortages. But what can they do? What is causing the shortage in power, the power cuts? Can the government fix it? Or they go to their wit ends and they cannot do anything about it. Well. In Liberia as well, investigation falls National Agency Protection Rainforest. Now, the report was completed in 2020 but has never been made public despite activists calling to publish its findings. The investigation was looking at the protection of rainforests in Nigeria, in Liberia, where it has been very, very poor. Now, in DR Congo as well, a bomb has injured about 12, at least 12 people near a market in northeast of DR Congo. The story says a bomb exploded at a market in eastern Congo on Wednesday, injuring at least a dozen people. Authorities have said an unknown person detonated a bomb inside a bag in North Kivu, Beni town, said Tassis Katembo, a local official. Damage was documented and at least 12 people were injured. The were injured in the lower limbs, others in their upper limbs, and others were hit in the head. He told reporters. Okay, so bringing you a couple of other stories from there as well. Now, France has recalled its envoy from Burkina Faso after its expulsion. Well. So making the way on the African continent this around in Ghana. That's what we are very there. 14, that's back individual bondholders calling for exclusion from domestic debt exchange. He said, well, you know what? Some people have invested all their savings and lifetime savings in that. And that's how or where they get their monies from to depend on. Now, you say you're not going to be giving them because you sat down and spent or mismanaged. Well, what do you think about all that? Well, it is Starr Radio UK. Now, consultations are not mandatory. Dr. Spio Gabra has on change of minority leadership. He has said pertaining to that, and let me bring you some details of what he has said. Now, in his comment, he did say that look at it. Even in the Black Stars, where we thought that the former captain of the Black Stars, apologies, Asamoah was indispensable. He said if he got a point, they had to get rid of him. Now, Kospio Graba, former Minister of Trade and Industry, has lashed out at some supporters of the National Democratic Congress over what he deemed to be false self-entitlement on their part. Now, Spio Graba is particularly unhappy with the reaction of some members of the party in Tamale over the removal of Haruna Idrisu as minority leader. The leading member of the NDC says that the conduct of those members of party is fueled by misconception that they enjoy some special benefits when they have someone from their town or region in position. He reminded them that whereas they may be excited that their own had been appointed, members of the party may be happy or unhappy with the decision, but that does not mean they go out in the street and protest. He said that at any point in time, it is the interest of the party that reigns supreme and not the parochial interest of a selected few. What do you think about all that? So coming your way from Starr Radio UK, do you think that the change in leadership is going to, be good for them? Or is it going to work against them? The opposition party, preparing them for the next election? What do you think about all that? Lots more going to be coming your way from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, one other story before we come to other parts of the world to look at some of the stories, and then we bring the program to the former president John Dramani Mahama. Today will deliver a lecture on Africa's strategic priorities and global role at the Chatham House. Now, Mr. Mahama is a strong advocate for resilient Africa that works strategically towards the attainment of the continent's Agenda 2063 goals. Is also a passionate believer in consolidating democracy. Currently, the chairperson of the Tana High-Level Forum on Security in Africa, a member of the panel for Global Public Health Convention, Mr. Mahama will share his insights on the future of Africa and its strategic priorities and interact with audience at Chatham House. In a tweet ahead of the event, the former leader stated, an opportunity to continue my advocacy for resilient Africa that works strategically towards the attainment of continent's Agenda 2063. I'll be telling you more about that Agenda 2063 on Monday, God willing, if we are still alive. All right. Now, here in the UK, St. John's Wood, a historic church, has been burnt down. What caused it? A Grade 2 listed church in northwest London has been destroyed in a fire overnight. Now, 80 firefighters were deployed to St. Mark's Church in Hamilton Terrace at St. John's Wood at 23:20 hours on Thursday. Now, videos on social media showed the entire two-story building alight, while witnesses said the roof of the honored Victorian building had caved in. The London Fire Brigade said there were no injuries and the cause of the fire, which is under control, was not known. The National Churches Trust has described St. Mark as an architectural and historical treasure. The building, which is more than 150 years old, has links to Arthur Lewis Carroll and Queen Victoria's son, Prince Leopold, and is situated near Abbey Road Studios and Lord Cricket's ground. The vicar of St. Mark's, the Reverend Kate Harrison, tweeted she felt broken by the fire. And that is all coming your way from Star Radio UK. Want to add the story? The NHS Trust has been fined £800,000 over a baby neglect that occurred. An NHS Trust has been fined £800,000 after admitting failings in the care of a baby who died after 23 minutes. Now, Nottingham University Hospital pleaded guilty over the care of Winter Andrews, who died after being born in 2019 at the Queen's Medical Centre. The fine is the largest handed out to an NHS Trust over maternity care. Now, Nottingham Magistrates Court heard the Trust's failures were more than sufficient to cause harm to Winter and her mother, Sarah. However, District Judge Grace Leon said she was acutely aware the fine will be paid for by funding that would usually be used for patients' care. Of course, it's not going to come from individual pockets, so the trust will have to use the monies that have been allocated to them to pay for that, and that is going to impact care as well. So you see, catch-22 situation. But well, it is Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. All right then. One other story, and then I bring the program to a close. And this time round from the world front, and this from the US. Now, President Joe Biden is urging protests in Tennessee to remain peaceful as officials plan to release a video of an arrest that led to a motorist's death. Now, body cam video of the encounter with Tyre Nichols, 29, will be published on Friday, and lawyers for his family said it will show him being severely beaten. Now, five fired police officers face murder charges after Mr. Nichols died days after a traffic stop on the 7th of January. Now, interestingly, they are all blacks. So, this time round, how would we classify that? Memphis is said to be on edge, and police there have increased patrols. Now, I'm sickened by what I saw, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation Director David Rausch said on Thursday after reviewing the footage, describing the officers' action as absolutely appalling. Now, Mr. Nichols, a black man who was stopped by 5 police officers who are also black on his way home after taking photos of a sunset at a local park, an attorney for the family said. Now, officials say he was suspected of reckless driving. A first confrontation occurred as Mr. Nichols attempted to flee on foot when officers approached his car, the local authorities said. Now, they said a second confrontation happened when officers tried to arrest him. Now, Mr. Nichols later complained of shortness of breath and was taken to hospital, the police have said, where he was listed in a critical condition. A lawyer for Mr. Nichols' family said the body cam footage showed Mr. Nichols being pepper sprayed, strapped with a stun gun, restrained and kicked. So, Caucasians will this morning say, now you see, it is not us. So what makes the black person who is being stopped by the police or being apprehended by the police, make them such a target to be beaten, knelt upon, and their lives wasted? What do you think? Well, it's been a pleasure coming your way. As I did say, the technical team are going to take over with the upgrade work that is going on. But hey, don't you worry, there's going to be lots of music going on as well. And this evening, lots of music there. But God willing, Sunday we'll be bringing you the Faith Talk with KB Bossman, and also the live church broadcast as well. So wherever you are, it's been a pleasure coming your way. I remain yours sincerely, the one and only Archie, and I say bye-bye for now and have a wonderful weekend. But let's take this commercial break, and after that, I'll bring you the song that have now had the interpretation for Olayomi by Jeanette. But now, let's take a quick commercial break. Stay tuned.
Make that move now, this festive season, to your new home address at GHS Housing Estates. From now to 31st January 2023, we are offering you an amazing 5% buyer's discount on all purchases on our expandable 1, 2, 3 and 4 bedroom detached homes at Cochrane Villa, Pokwase, just 5 minutes drive from the interchange. The Mayflower and the new Hazel Courts at Kuntusi, 20 minutes drive from Achimatamo. Beautiful homes in a serene and gated community with flexible payment plans available. Call us now on 0544 347 980 or 0544 347 981. GHS Housing Estates. View it, love it, own it.
Top dog.
Thanks for listening.
Fẹ́ ni mo fẹ́ o, èmi fòmìnira, fòmìnira.